Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the poem Lines Written in Early Spring. This is a very beautiful poem by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, he is a famous poet of romantic revival in English literature. He is a nature poet. He talks about the nature in his poetry and he talks about the common people. He uses simple language of the common people in poetry. In this poem also he uses very simple language. The title of the poem is Lines Written in Early Spring. It's a very beautiful poem given in the syllabus. Uh, there are 6 stanzas of 4 lines. There are 24 lines given in this poem in your syllabus. 6 stanzas of 4 lines. I am going to recite the poem stanza wise and try to explain in a very clear way so that it can be comprehensible to you. I heard 1,000 blended notes. I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a groove I sat reclined. In that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. This is the first stanza of the poem in which the poet creates a imagery where he is sitting and what type of thought comes in his mind. The poet says that I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a groove I sat reclined in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. Here the poet says that once he was resting in a groove. Groove means a group of trees, a shady bower, shady groove, and then he heard many mixed sound. Blended notes means mixed sound, different sounds of nature, of birds, and of cool breeze blowing at that time. And the poet said that he was in a very happy mood there, but while he was sitting there in a happy mood, suddenly sad thoughts come to his mind. He is in a happy mood, but now he feels very sad. He was happy because he was in the company of nature. But suddenly he became sad when he thought of man. When he thought of man, then he became very sad. The poet tries to make us clear that the condition of man, the predicament of man has made him very unhappy. He became very sad when he thinks of the misery of human being. The next 4 lines I am going to recite. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Again, I am reading. To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Here the poet says that nature has a very good plan for human being and for other living things in the world also. To her fair works did nature link. Nature is personified here. The poet says that the same soul is in human being and in the other works of nature, other creations of nature. And the poet thinks that it gives me much pain. Grieved my heart to think. It means this thought gives me much pain. It causes much pain in my heart when I think that what man has made of man. What man has made of man, man himself is responsible for the misery of himself. The next stanza, next 4 lines. Through primrose tuft in that sweet bower, the periwinkle trade its wreath, and it's my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. Now the poet gives the example of the flowers, that is a beautiful creation of nature. The poet gives the example of the flowers that were growing in the surrounding area where the poet was sitting. He talks about the primrose and periwinkle flowers. Primrose, it's a variety of flowers of yellow color, and periwinkle, uh, an evergreen plant with small blue colored flowers. The poet says that the periwinkle rings, it seems to him that the periwinkle rings has make a tuft of the primrose flowers. The poet is very happy to see such a beautiful glimpse of nature, that different types of flowers are blooming there. They seem to be very happy to the poet. And the poet says that, and it's my faith. And the poet believes that every flower enjoy the air it breathes. And the poet thinks that the flowers are very happy. Every flower is very happy, and every flower is enjoying the air in which it is breathing. The poet wants to say that every object of nature is very happy when it is in the lap of nature. In the next stanza, he talks about the birds. The birds around me hopped and played and thought, I cannot measure. The birds around me hopped and played, their thoughts I can't measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. In this stanza, the poet wants to tell us about the birds. The poet thinks that even the he is not able to understand their predicament. The thoughts of the birds cannot be understood by the poet, but the birds are hopping and playing, and the poet came to a judgment that their motions give the idea to the poet that the birds are in a very happy mood. They are enjoying a thrill of pleasure. They were very happy. First, in the last stanza, the poet talks about the flowers, that they were very happy, they were enjoying the air in which they breathe. And in this stanza, he talks about the birds. They were also looking very happy because the birds are hopping and playing around the poet. The poet can't understand their language or thought, but he came to an idea that they were looking very happy. In the next stanza, fifth stanza, the budding twigs spread out their fans to catch the breezy air, and I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. In this stanza too, the poet continues to describe the events in nature. He says that the newly grown small branches seem to spread out their leaves. Fans here means leaves, to get the air they needed. This showed that they had life in them. It means every object of life, every object of nature has life in it. This led the poet to believe that there were great joy. There was a great joy in every object of nature. Either they can be birds, or can be the flowers or the twigs. Budding twigs means newly growing branches. And in the next stanza, the poet says that if this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? This is the concluding stanza. Last stanza, I am going to recite it again. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? Concluding line. What man has made of man. The poet has great experience in nature, and now he is convinced that there is life in every plant and in every flower. He believes that nature has a nature has made a holy plan. Nature has made a sacred plan. And according to this plan, there is a close link between all living beings and natural objects. There is a great link between all living beings and all the objects of nature. And if this holy plan has been created consciously by nature, there is every reason, he says that every reason to be sad about what man has made of man. The poet here wants to say that man himself is responsible for all the misery in the world. Man is sad, man is unhappy because of himself. Nature has a great plan. Nature wants to make each and everyone happy, but man has separated himself from nature and becoming the cause of his unhappiness. Okay, have a nice day. And one thing to inform you, to get the latest updates on the channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the latest notifications about the updates on the channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.